Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to R Squared Technology. I am your host Ryan, and let's get ready to SolidWorks. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you've survived the week so far. We are continuing our series from the Beginner's Guide to SolidWorks 2022 Level 1. The link in the description below where you can pick up a copy to follow along. And today's part is going to be the first phase of the last part for this entire assembly. We'll be starting on page 232, section 7.1 on the worm gear shaft. And that is actually also going to conclude chapter 2 in this book. And we're going to be picking it up in chapter 3 starting next Friday, where we're going to go to some other parts, and then we will come back to 2 different parts in chapter 2 and finish them up. So, with that, this one's a little bit short today. Let's get started. Alright everyone, to start this part out, we're going to start on page 232, section 7.1. We're going to create the sketch profile for the Revolve Boss feature. So to start, select the front plane, hit Ctrl 8, then come up to the Sketch tab, choose a center line, click on the origin to make one end coincident, and drag out a horizontal line relation. Then we'll choose a regular line, and all lines will either be vertical or horizontal relation. We're just going to make the general sketch now, and then we're going to throw dimensions in and a relation. So I will start with a vertical line, come out like such, drag out, drag up, over, down, over, up, over. I'm going to go way over here, drag down, and then we'll connect it all together. Now the relation we're going to add is between this line here and this line. So we'll hit Control on the keyboard, select this line, and we're going to add a collinear relation. Then we'll select OK, and you'll notice these stay collinear if I move one line or the other. And now from here we're going to dimension this, smallest dimensions first, then going to larger so there's predictable changes. Starting with Smart Dimension here, we're going to take and make this horizontal relation dimension here, 0.063. Depth of this is 0.063, and then from here we'll go with this one over here, 0.25, looking good. Then we're going to do this one here, 0.5. Then we will do this dimension here, which is going to be 4.625, like such. Clean these dimensions up just a little bit. And then we have this dimension here, all the way to here, which is going to be 5.25, and then we will do the remainder of our vertical dimensions. So I'm going to choose the center line here, choose this line, I'm going to drag past it, do 0.5, then while it is still in the double dimension mode, select this line here, drag out 0.625, and then finally we want to stay in that mode, and we'll come and grab this line here, and this is going to be 1 inch. And now our sketch is fully defined, so Control S, come over into the Features tab, choose Revolve Boss Base, and it'll automatically choose this axis of revolution. Because it is the only center line, we want it to be blind revolve type, 360 degrees. Click OK, hit Control S, and we will now move on to page 233, section 7.2. Alright, so continuing on to section 7.2 on page 233, we're now going to make a cutout profile in the shaft in which we're going to implement a midplane end condition. But to start, we're going to do something unique with the line work. So first choose the front plane, choose sketch from the toolbar that pops up, Control 8 to bring it normal to, or yours may in the options be automatically set to bring it normal to when you open the sketch, depending. I'm going to zoom into about here, and I'm going to select the line. Now watch what unique abilities we have and kind of the efficiency of doing things here. So I'm going to start into the profile, and we want it well beyond the part, which is an emphasis they make on page 233, and then we're going to continue on to page 234 at the top and middle part here. So watch this. We're going to start our line as usual. We want a horizontal relation for that line, and I come just below and into the shaft, and then I'm going to select again. Now that's completed our first line, and we're still in the sketch, still going. Now notice something, it's still a line here, so there are two things I can do. One, I can press A on the keyboard to start an arc, or I can drag backwards in the gesture to that last endpoint to create an arc. So we'll first try A, so we're going to click A, and it turns it into an arc. And we want it to have a 90-degree relation for right now, so we'll click. And then we're going to drag out, click again. Now this time I'm going to just gesture back with my pointer, my number 2 pencil as I love to call it. So we'll just come back to that last endpoint, and then you'll notice I'm able to make yet another arc. From here then we can click, drag up, select a line, and complete the profile. I'll hit escape a couple of times and hit Control S. And now from here we can add our dimensions. So again, we'll start with our smallest dimension, which is this bottom line to this silhouette edge of the cylinder. And that is going to be 0.094. Then this top dimension here is going to be 0.25 extended past the silhouette edge of the shaft. And the reason for this is because we do not want to create a thin feature when we're cutting through. We want to make sure that it cuts through all the material here and anything that could be beyond it if there's a change to the shaft diameter. Then we can come over here, and it's a width of 1.375. Then we can take this end vertical line here and the very edge of the shaft, and that's going to be 2.75 inches. Finally, I'm going to define the radius of the arc to be 0.125, and then what I'm also going to do is take advantage and press the Control key, select this arc, and make them equal. That way we have our fully defined sketch. Hit Control S, and now we're going to make sure that this dimension here, we'll select it, and then we're going to right click and then unselect Mark for Drawing. That way it does not show up as the dimension in the drawing, as it is not necessary. Then from here we're going to go to section 7.3 at the top of page 235. Alright, to finish up our cut extrude here on page 235, section 7.3 at the top, we're going to come over here into the Features tab. We're going to choose Extruded Cut, and then our end condition is going to be midplane, which is my favorite. And then our thickness or width of this cut will be 0.1875, enter, select OK, click out, Control S, spacebar, and we'll bring it isometric to observe the cut we just made. And now we'll continue on to section 7.4 on page 235. Alright, after we've finished our cut extrude, let's come over here in the feature tree, select it once, select it twice, and rename it keyway. Next, we'll go into section 7.4 on page 236, where we're going to make a polygon that creates a hexagonal cut. So to do this, we'll hit the space bar, bring the left side normal to, then make sure we're in the sketch tab here. We're going to choose this very end face here to create our sketch on. Then we're going to choose a polygon, and then we're going to do circumscribe, and then we're going to choose the origin as the center point, drag out, and I'm going to stop shy. I'm going to choose close dialog, hit escape, and then I'm going to select one of these endpoints, select the edge of the circle here, make it coincident, and then we'll go on to page 236 at the top here. We'll add one more relation to fully define the sketch. We're going to select this line here and give it a horizontal relation. And from here we can move on to section 7.5 on page 236. Alright, section 7.5 on page 236, we're going to finish up this cut extrude. We'll simply come over here into our features tab, choose extruded cut, and we want the end condition up to surface. I'm going to press and hold the center mouse wheel to rotate the part a little bit to the left so you can see this. Then for our surface, we're going to make sure that's selected, choose this surface here, and then finally we're going to simply select flip side to cut, select OK, and hit Control S. Now we've got the cut profile complete. The last thing we're going to do is section 7.6 on page 236. We're going to come over here to our materials in the feature tree, right click, edit material, scroll down to find chrome stainless steel, select it, click apply, click close, and we'll hit the space bar and bring it back into an isometric view, and that'll put us at page 237, section 7.7, where they would ask you to save the part as the worm gear shaft. But as always, in all my videos, I recommend you save the part first and save often. So with that, we'll hit Control S, and that will complete the first phase of this part. Stay tuned next Friday, where we're actually going to start into Chapter 3 with a couple of different miscellaneous parts to learn some new concepts and features before coming back to the shaft and the gear to complete them. I hope you learned something in this. As always, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.